breaking news.
Hello, and this is Grace reporting live outside of Area 52. I am here with some determined raiders. What do you think you'll find today in Area 52?
We know
they're aliens. You heard it here, folks. Looks like pretty tight security. Are you worried?
No.
On this episode of the Stag Statement, we're going to be introducing
the Wood Wizard himself,
and Mr. Warren, and we also have a special guest,
my dear friend,
Professor Palindrome.
Hello, and my name is Professor Peter Palindrome, and welcome back to another episode of Computational Corner. And today I am with Mrs. White.
Hello.
Hello, whose birthday happens to be on a palindrome day. Tell us more about that.
What is a palindrome, first of all?
A palindrome day is when the date, like written here, can be written the same way backwards as it is forwards.
Yeah. It's only going to happen once in my life for my birthday, so it was really exciting to happen on a Friday the 13th and the only time in my life.
Indeed, very exciting. And the question we all want to know is, did your parents plan to have you on a palindrome?
Oh, of course. I think so. I think they definitely thought about this 40 years ago when they were planning and thinking about how special that would be for my 40th birthday, Friday the 13th, palindrome, and I believe it was a full moon as well. So everything aligned.
Thank you. This has been Professor Palindrome Peter, and this has been an episode of Computational Corner.
Action!
Hi, this is Aaron from the Stag Statement, and I'm here with Mr. Warren. I just have a few questions for you. What do you teach?
I teach musical theater and choir.
Okay, so what is your favorite part of your job, I guess?
My favorite part of my job is that I get to have a class where kids move around a lot and they make a lot of sound, and they don't just sit in normal desks. It's a totally different classroom.
A different field?
Yeah, different.
So what are your hobbies at?
Outside of school, I really like swimming. I like going to the lake and pretty much anything in the sun and in nature, like hiking, all those kinds of things.
What's your favorite musical?
Oh, that's hard. My favorite musical, it's pretty stereotypical, but I really like Wicked. I've seen it 8 times, and so it's just, I think it's one of the best shows.
So do you have any pets?
I do. I have a dog. It's a Boston Terrier, so he's pretty small but really energetic, and his name's Tucker. So.
What brought you to Austin? Because I know you were from Seattle.
Yeah, I moved far from my family when I went to Seattle and decided I wanted to be closer to home, which is Oklahoma City. And so Austin was kind of the perfect in-between. It's similar to Seattle in some ways, but it's a little bit different too.
So I have to ask you a question. Seattle versus Austin.
Well, that's hard. I would say, since my time being here, while I loved Seattle, Austin has more sunshine, and the people are a little bit more friendly, and the food is definitely a lot better. So, probably Austin.
So, favorite singer?
I really, this is kind of weird, I really like country music, and I've a weird obsession with Carrie Underwood. She's probably one of the most talented singers I've heard live, so a little bizarre.
What college did you go to?
I went to a college in Arkansas called John Brown University. It's a private college there.
I've heard of John Brown.
Yeah.
Learned him in history.
Oh, yeah.
7th grade history.
Different John Brown, but yes. But yeah.
Whatever. Do you play any sports?
I did growing up. I played baseball for 8 years, and then I love watching all the other sports, but mostly I only played baseball.
What's your favorite superhero? A little bit different question.
Ooh, I would have to say Batman. I think Batman was all the best movies, and he's a little bit darker, but still, he's the hero that Gotham deserved. I like that part.
So, last question. What do you like about St. Andrews?
St. Andrews is a pretty special place. I'm learning quickly. I think just the community aspect, the people, and I think the students are really respectful and they work really hard and they care a lot. So.
Okay. Last question.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Sage?
So when I moved here, I love Sage because it's part of our job that we get as teachers. We get to eat, lunch for free, and so I love the food. I think there's always different options, and I think it's really good. So.
Okay, so this was me, Aaron Norwood, with Mr. Warren.
Yep.
Hey Bryce, have you ever forgot your pencil on the way to class?
Well, actually, I have.
Well, fear not, because Mr. Barnes has got you covered. He's been carving these art pieces with a chainsaw for the past couple decades.
Actually, that's not true. It's only been a couple of weeks.
Thing that I'm doing here, I can bring it all out. I'll bring it out. The biggest issue for me was space. I couldn't do it anywhere else, so I had to find space. Like I said, the saw is really loud, so let me pull this out.
How long does it usually take to get your materials out?
To start the process, from like the moment I get to the school till I actually am doing my carvings is probably about a half hour, maybe. Because what I gotta do is I have to take the bin out, so my kit, and then my sawhorse. I gotta put up the sports. These have basically like, you can kind of feel it, it's thick. So like if the saw hits this, it'll bind up and it won't cut me. So you gotta have the right protective gear. These were really, really expensive, but there's really no price that you can put on safety, right? So I'll show you the kit. This is all my stuff. And again, like double protection as far as like sharpening tools. Here's a chain. Like I said, I gotta basically put this chain back on the bar. The bar is the part of the saw that you use for cutting.
Is that part actually sharp?
This is really sharp. Yeah, you gotta be careful when you're... There's different size bars as well for different applications. So like this bar is 16 inch, but you'll notice this is my big dog. This is a 20 inch, right? And it's basically like how much work you want to do in terms of the detail. So like the smaller bar will do like more detail. The color really makes it stand out. Like the pencil, no one really even noticed the pencil when it was out there. Like people were like, I mean, a little bit, but then once the color went on it, everyone was like, oh my God, look, it's a pencil, right? It was almost like they saw it but didn't really see it. Kind of interesting.
Where do you get your wood?
That's a good question as well. So, wood is expensive to buy, but it's in, I'm sweating. It's in, there's a lot of it around. So it's, I get it from like arborists, like people that cut trees for a living. So like if an arborist calls me and is like, hey, I have logs, then it's my responsibility to go and pick up those logs. So I get it from people who cut trees for a living. I have a person that I met when I first came back this last time from being in Upper Michigan. His name's Chico, and he has a tree service. And me and Chico are buddies now because Chico, it works out really good. So if Chico gets rid of logs, he has to pay to get rid of them, right? But if Chico gives me the logs and I go collect them for him, I win because I get free logs, and he wins because he doesn't have to pay to get rid of them. So it's kind of a mutual thing, which is really sweet. So this is a littler saw, smaller CC. Look at this. See how small that tip is?
Yeah.
That's for like making like eyes and like doing like really detailed work and stuff.
Greg Bishop, and I'm deep within Area 52. I think I've found an alien. I'm now gonna attempt to interview the alien. What do you have to say for yourself, alien? I guess there's no comment.